You're live.
Welcome to Slow News Day Live. My name is Steve Poikinen. I'm here in yet half burnout Boulder Creek, California. Before we get into the crux of the show, I do want to make it perfectly clear that I don't do this to change anyone's mind about anything. I do it to ease my own mind about everything. It works every time, and if things go particularly well, we can all expect an hour or two distraction from our impending doom. So Glory has other life shit going on with school and sports and whatnot. She'll be back with us Sunday. But she wanted you to know that Rokana is a certified punk ass. Not sure what that has to do with what we're talking about.
Her connections to big tech and all that, and they support her censorship.
I think just in general, it's just a general thing. But I'm joined by my friend Franco. Franco was recently sent an email from YouTube that informed him that his newly monetized YouTube channel was no longer monetized. Pasta and Fee received the same email, except for it wasn't addressed to Franco. It was addressed to the Convo Couch. And they'll be on here shortly too. They're wrapping up an interview, and holy shit, dude! Like, wait, how long? How you've been your channel been monetized for how long?
I just got monetized around the time that we were doing the forced to vote stuff, so less than 2 months. I didn't even get to experience much of the monetization.
You mean you didn't get that sweet AdSense revenue from like fractions of a penny for people who are nice enough to let an ad play all the way through? Because outside of like super chats, that's the primary way people make money on YouTube is ads. And that's the first thing that goes away when you get the individual video demonetized. But yeah, it was right before we saw you in DC. There was some dude congratulating you. What is it? Was it?
Yeah, right? I was recently monetized then. Like I had just hit like 1K when I was down there in DC. So now I'm at 3K, like a little bit over 3K. So I barely experienced it.
It really is. It's like a month. They don't tell you what video did it.
They told me that, all right, so here's what happened. First, they gave me a warning. They're like, your video is like promising the viewers something like in your title and thumbnails, and it's not what it ended up being. It was a stream that failed because of connection issues. Like I was going to have on Jackson Hinkle. I was going to have on Colin and Ricky Rance. We were going to do a stream together about forced to vote and what are the next steps and how we're going to collaborate more with other movements. And then we had to reschedule because I was having these connection issues. So people were seeing the video. It was just like all black. And then I tried to run the stream over and over again. And then it failed more times. And then I deleted those videos. I don't know if somebody reported one of those, or I don't know why YouTube messaged me about this a couple days ago saying that I was false advertising. And that it violates their terms of and conditions for spam. And then I appealed it. I made a post about it on Twitter. People were also tagging YouTube about it. And then I get an email right after I make a stream explaining about what happened. And in the email, they're telling me that I'm no longer monetized. And they're like, we reviewed your channel and you're promoting material that's harmful, quote unquote harmful, and we're not going to monetize you anymore.
But they don't tell you what the harmful material.
They don't tell me what it is. They don't tell me how it's harmful. Like I've never promoted violence in my video ever in any of my videos, and none of my videos were taken down. And it's also funny that the warning is still up. What's up?
What have you been covering?
I've been covering almost everything. Like I've talked about, like when you were on recently with Ed, I talked about the Great Reset. I've talked about election integrity. I talked about how our election system is all effed up and how we can never objectively say who the actual winner is. I've given I've showed articles of the history of our election system. I've talked about COVID. Like I've talked about the vaccines and masks. So I don't know which videos they're talking about. Like I've talked about all kinds of stuff that would piss off the oligarchs that control YouTube.
This just it. It's so fucking just nuts, man. YouTube, owned by Google, has the world's largest search engine. YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world and the first number one video platform in the world. And on YouTube, you can get lied to by war criminals all day long. You can have people, like, even some of the confirmation bias channels have been getting hit.
Yeah.
Which is like,
you can't even step out of line a little bit.
I mean, for someone like, like a Jordan Sheridan to get videos yanked, or for someone like Graham Elwood to get demonetized, it's a testament to just how fucking out of control the next several years this administration is going to be over the next several years, with the way that speech is policed. I hate that shit.
Yes. Steve and Josh, we're only in February. Biden was inaugurated just like a week and a half ago or 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
Imagine how much censorship there's going to be by the end of the year, let alone the end of his administration.
This year is going to be so much fun. So much
I mean, it's like, it's time to get like pirate about this shit, you guys. It's time to like get the fuck off of YouTube. Get off of YouTube. Just stop. And get over to the Rockfin. Support the show on the Rockfin. It's $10 a month. You get everybody's premium content on it. It's not like Patreon, where there's like tiered levels of content and you have to give this much to each content creator just so you can see bonus shit. It's a lot more, I don't know, fair, I guess, that way. There's still a super chat kind of thing you can tip. It's fantastic. They don't take a 40% cut like YouTube does with the super chats. Even fucking better. You make a free account. Most people have free content up there as well as premium content. I forget to set my stuff to premium like all the time because I'm bad about this. Yeah, do that thing. Yeah. You're over on the Rockfin, right, Franco?
Yeah, thankfully I'm there now. The short amount of time that there was an overlap with me being on YouTube and me being on Rockfin, I was just telling people today, the best way you can support me and all the other content creators that are getting demonetized is if you go over to Rockfin, create a free account. Steve, you have 4,000 plus subscribers here on your channel, almost 5,000. All of them should have a Rockfin account. How many?
More than half are. More than half are. And this is what Rockfin told me. Hey man, if like 5% of your YouTube audience follows you over to a new platform, man, you're crushing it, dude. 10% is like unheard of. So if it gives you an idea of the scope and reach and like legitimate size of this channel, I got like close to 2,700 subscribers over on Rockfin, or followers over on Rockfin. They're not all subscribed to the channel. I would like buy like 1,000 acres and fucking like, all right, come build your fucking Armageddon shelter. It's cool. You know,
I'm just like a little bit away from reaching 10%. Like I'm just over 3,000 on YouTube, and I'm approaching 300 on Rockfin. But even less than that, like I'm like what, like less than a week on Rockfin so far, or less than 2 weeks. I was already proportionally making more on Rockfin than I was on YouTube.
Yeah, because YouTube's a shit pile.
They steal your money. Like we're their slave.
It's not even that, dude. It's just like there are people whose job it is to personally monitor your content, and they're sitting there with a list of words or topics that are no longer permissible on their platform. Not because you're inciting violence, not because there's hate speech, not because you're yelling fire in a crowded theater or anything that could be related to that. You're like showing clips and articles from the people that we are discussing and using their words.
Yeah, like Ryan Christian does that all the time in The Last American Vagabond. He's reading from the CDC website, and they're like, you're promoting misinformation. No, I'm reading off of your own words.
My favorite with Ryan was when they told him he wasn't him.
Oh,
he
yeah.
was impersonating himself. That was a good one.
And then he showed a video of like some college that was using a fake Hillary Clinton, and that video wasn't taken down. And I was like, that's not Hillary Clinton. It clearly was. I don't know if you saw that.
I need to retweet a thing over on the Rockfin. And just so I'm a little bit freaked. I might even go pull it up. I might like the whole like just AOC's day on Twitter, because it reads like she's recruiting for a cult. It really does. Have you been able to check out any of her garbage today?
Not today, but I did get a sense of it. I was streaming a lot today, so I didn't get to catch up on that. But I saw one tweet where she was like, "Oh, we're gonna have more violence if Google and Apple don't censor more." She wants more censorship.
Yeah,
and then her sycophants don't understand that they're gonna get censored just as much as the right wingers are, probably more.
We're gonna do this, and we'll do it live. I don't normally talk about like AOC really, but this is some crazy shit, dude. Because just the other night she went on Instagram and she pulled out like nearly believable tears over the murder that almost took place at the Capitol. The murder. She almost got murdered. And here we go. This is particularly nefarious. This is how she starts her day today. To survivors of any trauma who worry about being believed, or that their situation wasn't bad enough or too bad, or fear being branded or deemed manipulative for telling the truth, AOC sees you. Community is here for you. You're safe with AOC.
My God.
With community. No specification on community, but the community that AOC is in, apparently, and that you are loved. Now, I'm going to come back to all of this shit, kind of go through the day, but that's how she started her day. I would like to know what your immediate reaction to that is, Franco.
It's scary. It's like Big Brother loves you. Big Brother will take care of you. Big Sister AOC will take care of you. I've had trauma just like you've had trauma. She's trying to capture people with psychology, with emotional manipulation, like saying like, I understand your struggle. I'm also struggling. No, you're not. You're not AOC. You're in a position of power. You have government healthcare. You're set. And she victimizes herself to have these people feel sorry for her and feel like they have to protect her, when it should be the other way around. She should be protecting us.
If I had to feel like a victim, you're all going to have to feel like victims.
Yeah. Like, are you like, imagine if you were emotionally manipulating your audience and you were like, oh my God, I'm traumatized. Like I almost died when I was at the Capitol. Please donate money to me, please.
So here's the thing, man. My
That
audience
sounds
is
familiar.
here. My audience is here because it ain't their first rodeo anyway. And like most of them, if not all of them, came to this show with a pretty decent bullshit detector, you know. And if I was to do anything at this point that was just like disingenuous as fuck,
Yeah.
they'd all know. You know,
What
I
the
was
fuck
like,
happened
what
to
the
Steve?
fuck
Yeah.
are you doing, dude? Get the fuck out of here. Are you kidding me? No.
I'd be
What
cutting the stream,
happened?
dude.
Yeah, and instantly.
People will be calling you out. That's how you know you have a smart audience, a loyal audience, because they'll be calling you out when you're stepping out of line.
Wouldn't you agree, Sleepy Josh?
100%.
I don't like. I mean, dude, look at what we do on the show.
Dude,
You know,
if you tried to sell out, I'd like be the first one to fucking yell at you and bounce if you didn't correct that mistake. You know me, dude.
He's about to, though. Didn't you know that he's promoting QAnon? That's why he gets the little Wikipedia labels.
Yup.
I am pretty sure that it is my fault that Pasta and Fee's show, where I went on to talk about all of that, got hit with the same QAnon content warning or context warning.
What if it was because of you that they got demonetized, and because I was on your show
feel bad
recently
about
that I got demonetized?
I would kind of feel bad about that. Like, it's not really my fault, you know, but I would kind of feel bad about that. Like, I did enough.
No,
like,
you're just trying to spread truth, man. Don't feel bad. Right? We were gonna talk about it at some point. We're gonna have to.
I feel like I would have to like kind of like give Pasta an attaboy or something like that. You know, a little extra like ass smack or something next time I see it. It was like, hey, buddy, I'm sorry. And not gonna do the full Johnny Vedmore like cup your balls thing. I'm not gonna do that. I don't need to do that. But that is fucking hilarious. And by the way, if you haven't seen that interview,
oh my god, it's ridiculous.
That was great.
That shit was funny as fuck. And Johnny will be back with us tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Eastern, 5. Because look at me doing fucking promo in the middle of his show.
And Glory's not even here.
Glory's not even here.
Not even in chat. I'm
wow.
shocked. We miss you,
Johnny.
Glory.
And by the way, Johnny Vedmore has been doing these incredible breakdowns of Davos and the World Economic Forum with Whitney on the Unlimited Hangout live stream. Or yeah, I guess yeah. And I believe Ryan is streaming that too. Huh?
So we don't really know what exactly it is that got us all demonetized. But how scary is it that all these things that were talked about in the Event 201 are coming to fruition? Like, anyone challenging the mainstream narrative about COVID. I've talked about COVID on my channel. You guys have. Convo Couch has talked about COVID also, but they also had you on to talk about the Great Reset, which is in many ways related. How crazy is it that shit that they talked about over a year ago in 2019 of October is now coming to fruition with one of the members there, one of the people who was in that panel, Avril Haines, now being the director of national intelligence in Biden's administration.
I mean, we've been talking about, you know, we on this show specifically, we've been talking about this for the last year. You know, hey, this is going, this is, I mean, what we're doing is looking at the like white papers and reports and memos and shit that are put out to the public where, like Department of Homeland Security will say, by the way, there's going to be a, sort of event that goes on around the inauguration. And then the thing at the Capitol happens, like right after almost $200 million to refurbish and repair and maintain the Capitol building and grounds was tucked into the coronavirus relief package that Trump vetoed, then signed anyway. And like Whitney will come on and be like, oh, and hey, and by the way, as we go towards a period of more censorship, everything that is outside of the narrative will be labeled with this QAnon garbage, and that'll just be the easiest, most basic and simplest excuse to yank somebody off of a platform. They promote QAnon nonsense. Sure, the channel debunks it, but we're saying it's Q, and that's all we have to. I guarantee you right now, if the Daily Beast decided to do another hit piece on me, they could go to that video. They could be like, see, we told you back in April of last year or May of last year that this guy was, the sum total of the leftist conspiracy theory crowd. And now they're, he went full Q kind of thing. And people would believe that because they read Daily Beast and they think that it's real. I guarantee you that someone in my family would see that and be like, I knew it. Just because it's easier than believing that I have independent thought and don't operate in a red team, blue team little bubble.
It's their word that's like that is just like the undeniable truth, the authoritative truth. It's been like that. It's been that way for, like, they've been indoctrinated us with that from birth. Like, we go to school, they tell us that the West is the best, the United States is the best, that they know they're exceptional, and then like they barely talk to us about other cultures, and then they prey on that. They prey on our illiteracy and foreign policy, and to think that we're doing things because we're a force for good. And then people don't think critically, and they turn on their loved ones. They take the word of the U.S. empire over you, like, enough to think that you are acting in bad faith because you're going against the narrative that the U.S. empire wants us all to think. How do we break out of that?
I mean, we've got kind of a unique opportunity here before the walls really start caving in. I hope. And while some of the lockdown restrictions are being relaxed, that looks like, you can kind of assemble in public again. I think that I mean, dude, I want another Occupy, smarter Occupy, a different kind of Occupy, but the same basic premise where, we can get an overwhelming number of bodies in front of every possible, conceivable outlet of the oligarchy, not just, pick a major city in a park, but let's specifically go to, YouTube or Google or Alphabet. Let's specifically go to, yes, Wall Street, or yes, Zuccotti Park. There's I think they were on the Convo Couch the other day. Like, populist Republican kid who runs for office regularly who's trying to organize, who's currently organizing at Zuccotti Park in New York. You know, I mean, I think that it at this point, I don't know how they can make it any more clear they don't give a fuck about you. I don't know how something like, at least to like whatever the fuck it means to be a progressive in 2021, at least to that crowd, I don't know how you could watch AOC's complete, like, blatant in your fucking face.
Yeah.
Hi, I'm doing every neoliberal thing ever right now, ever. I fucking I've said for a while, dude, progressives are neoliberals with training wheels.
And now they're off, right?
Wheels came off. They did. Like, the fucking, and she's like, yo, dude, check my new bike. It looks just like Nancy Pelosi's. You know, I don't know how you could watch this shit and go, oh, well, sure, I guess more censorship is the right thing to do. I did, you know, that's just, I can't believe she almost died.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Those idiots coming in sure looked like they were gonna kill her. Like the guy with the fuzzy hat just like walking in. He's like, what did he say? He's like, hey, what's up, Chads? And then like and then the police officer's like, can you please think about leaving? This is like,
go back to this.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go back to this thing. Oh, the sacred space. Yeah. So this is later on today. This is AOC. This is the latest manipulative take on the right. They're manipulating the fact that most people don't know the layout of the Capitol complex. Complex now. She was saying building. She now says complex. The attack wasn't just on the dome. The bombs Trump supporters planted surrounded our offices too.
What? Where was there any talk about bombs? Like, am I missing out here on something?
Hang on, we're not done. People were trying to rush and infiltrate our office buildings. That's why we had to get evacuated in the first place. The attempts of attackers in publicly available communications show how they tried to gain access and share location info on finding members for physical harm. It is also very damning and revealing that the GOP is now digging both heels into a discrediting campaign. It's because they know they are implicated, so they're pivoting to, again, the classic abuse playbook of it's not as bad as they say. It was that bad. It was actually worse. Actually worse, Franco. It was actually worse. Actually worse. She was, in fact, nowhere near where anyone from Team MAGA or Team Patriot or Team 3%er or whatever was. I should do this real quick. Rob Juno, thank you for the super chat. I love you very much, brother. Let me go find this. There it is. No, Rob, we're not, but you're sweet. You're an important part of why the U.S. has any credibility left, given its unintentionally comedic government and war business. Where'd that go? Melissa Petrovic, thank you for the super sticker. Tony watches closely. Sent tip over on the Rockfin. You guys should definitely be watching this on Rockfin. I was not really shy about how I felt about YouTube when I titled the video. Could be our last. I'm still amazed. You got I don't know how the fuck we have it. If anything, man, we've like gone a little bit harder since everybody started getting fucked with. Like, so from that, I guess from the moment they were like, oh, we're gonna pick on Vanessa Beeley, I was like, oh, you can suck all my dick, then let's
you guys talk about the things that would piss them off the most, like the things that they really don't want the public to know about. I am surprised that you guys wake up every morning and your channel is still intact.
They're perfectly happy with mass unsubscribing tons of people and not only letting a certain amount of people see the show. Like they're pretty happy with that, and they demonetize every video.
What's up,
Oh,
Pete?
hey kids.
Hi.
But going back to AOC though, she definitely, it looks like she takes acting classes. I was watching the interview that Pasta had with Jason Bermas, talking about how Obama received acting lessons from
Harry Lennox.
What's his name?
Harry Lennox.
Yeah.
And he acts exactly like Obama, or I should say Obama acts exactly like him. So AOC's
They had him kind of change his style a little bit once Obama got elected. But if you look at Harry Lennox's body of work, like really pre-2004, like from like 94 to 2004, if you look at that, oh, it's dead on. But if you watch now, Harry Lennox plays a much different character. He's a little bit more just different on purpose. And Fee, we're live. You know that, right?
Did you hear us, by the way?
Oh, there's Pasta.
Yeah.
Fee was saying that AOC would have been
Look at you
perfect
guys
in
with
Hispanic, a Hispanic drama telenovela.
Hey, Fee, hey, Pasta.
It's so exact. Have you ever seen those, Steve? Like they're so exaggerated in their acting.
Yeah, that's why I said that, because like she's perfect, and then she's the villain that pretends to be really nice but is really a bitch. Like I'm so fucking done with her. She's pushing fucking censorship right now. She's tying. The thing
we're going through her day on Twitter right now.
Good, great.
Right now. And yeah, dude, she started off this morning with that, like, I see you and I'm the community that will keep you safe and protect you. And
Big brother.
Big sister at AOC.
just come under the wing of Alessandria Sandia. Sandy's got your back. Sandy does.
Did you guys talk about the Smollets thing yet, or no?
What was up with that?
No. Where Alexandria Ocasio Smollett was. I just caught that on my lunch.
So please fill me in. I don't know. What does that mean?
Fee, please go. And by the way, welcome to the show, Pasta Jar de la Fiorella Isabel from the Convo Couch.
Fam,
they were
rocking the Rockfin.
Just today got
fam.
their fuck you, you're fully demonetized on YouTube email now. So there this is like an extended Festivus of sorts. Welcome back. And yes, please air your grievances.
Whoa,
Matching
my fucking grievances. First of all,
look at you guys. Jesus Christ, that's just.
Yeah, he copied me because I was wearing this from the start, and then he had to go fucking change. But I'm just really fucking pissed off that people like Jordan Cheriton get like, oh my god, his channel, they took down a video. Let's all like have a fucking party. But we fucking get demonetized. Franco gets demonetized. The Progressive Soapbox gets demonetized. And it's like, where the fuck? Like, come on. Like, this is actual threatening independent media. Like, we threaten the status quo. We literally push the envelope. We talked about, the Great Reset. We talk about the national security state constantly. We talk about Julian Assange. We talk about foreign policy. We have actual people living in Russia come on to talk about, what's going on with Alex Navalny. And it's like it's really irritating, like that, it's just like, what the fuck? And then he goes and props up Andrea Poggs. Did you see that? You didn't see that.
Really?
You didn't see that. He props up that woman who literally calls everybody a fascist. And
who prepped about
Jordan Cheriton. He
today?
said, yeah, because she got demonetized again. And it's funny because all of this is coming to the left. Like we said from the start, we knew that the moment they censored Alex Jones, even way back when, that was going to come on all of us. And then cheering for that. And I accept his half-ass apology as a half-ass apology. And I say, but for me, it's like, Pasta's too kind, because for me, it's like, fucking mention us, fucking direct me at my name, and fucking say you're fucking sorry, because what you asked for is happening, and now it's affecting you too. That's the only reason you're saying shit, because it's affecting you too. And I'm so sorry. I'm pissed off that he gets a platform to say shit on and we don't. I'm just gonna leave that there.
It's incredibly interesting to me that, I mean, because it's not like you guys aren't cordial, you know. And it's not like you haven't been on the show. You know, both of you guys have been on Jimmy's show, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's what I thought. I mean, you know, but yeah, no, it's YouTube taking away your ability to make any kind of money or sustainable or even supplementary income on their platform from the years of content that you put into it, the hours and hours and hours of work that you put into each freaking show. I know how much research goes into your show. I know how much work you guys do. You guys are incredibly just fucking, you're little research demons and shit, man. I mean,
Closer to your mic.
Shout out to Magnus who's on in the chat.
Magnus is there. Another reason why we probably got shut down too, as well, is then, you know, not only that we're like one of the only few.
Yeah, and by the way, dude, I guess since you're doing media rounds, to get at me on Twitter, Magnus, if you want to come on, we'll have a chat.
Yeah.
The same Magnus. I'd love to have you on.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you go.
But, welcome.
They're gonna demonetize you though.
I don't give
Too late.
fuck, though. I'm a carpenter right now. I'm not trying to do this full time yet. I'm a couple of months away from making sure that that'll be able to happen. I'm going to make a push for it. I'm going to show larger platforms what like real fucking coverage looks like and what real addressing narrative management looks like and what unification can look like without making someone feel like a fucking moron because they haven't read fucking, you know, like every single, I don't know, every single page that Lenin
By
wrote.
Marx.
Or yeah, I mean, like the fucking no, dude. We can talk to each other like human beings. The part of this whole gatekeeper structure of independent media relies on treating people like they're fucking dumb because they don't have that campus Marxism, because they can't converse with academia. I can do that. I can. I just would prefer to treat my audience like human beings rather than subjects or, you know, students. Like that's fucking been, no, everybody's a fucking human being, right? Like, let's start there. Let's start there. Then we can figure out if you're dumb or not. You know, but that won't be, you know, until after we've already established that you're
right. It's not, there's an elitism in the progressive movement, and we see this every day, you know, with these people that have this sort of air of this is why they hate it on Door and why they hate on people who don't present themselves as intellectuals. And, you know, I've read theory. I consider myself pretty fucking intelligent enough, at least slightly more intelligent than some of these idiots who are think they're so full of themselves and so arrogant, like the Eon Higgins or whatever his name is of the world, who like just sit there and they're like, oh, you don't know what you're talking about, and like they think they're so funny, but like it's that elitism, I think, that they're promoting onto all their supporters. Whereas if you come on your chat, Franco's chat, our chat, like these people are the fucking best.
Yeah, they're smart.
So fucking smart. And in fact, like we remember when we interviewed Glory Jones.
Yeah.
And she knew so much, like when we were on the ground, like she was like, I was like blown away. I was like, holy shit, like we need more Glory Joneses educating the Gen Z, not more Voshes.
Yeah. Let me say
Vouches
this
or
much
whatever.
too, Steve. Like I'm pretty sure that you're just as good as a carpenter as Jesus himself and stuff, and you're probably awesome at it. But and if you love it, you love it. But I would love to see an opportunity, I mean, where you can do this full time, because the information that you put out there is so valuable. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's really, to me, it's fascism at its finest when the powers above are monetary suppressing all these people out there. I talk highly of you today, Franco, as well, about the way you're just young, up and coming, what you have to say, bursted on the scene. Man, we were all in one house together, one room together. They would have liked to get us all right there, huh?
Yeah.
Got to think about the young and up and comers and stuff like that. But it is fascism at its finest,
Yeah.
when they're pulling away the monetary gains that you guys can't do this full time, and now they're doing it to us too as well.
And you have caused
it's a
people
shame.
to step up, Steve. You've caused people to step up their game. I've noticed, like, ever since you guys have been on, people are like, wait a minute, like, who are these people just like coming in? And Franco too. Like, you guys have caused people to, you know, to like reconsider, oh, maybe I should be putting out more thoughtful information, because compared to the Sam Cedars of the world and the David Doles and, you know, those people, it's like, what, I can't even watch, like, it's really hard for me to watch what they talk about, because they talk about nothing. And you know, and the detail that you guys put into what you produce is astounding.
The receipts you bring.
Yeah,
The
exactly.
receipts you guys
the
bring, it's
people
like,
you
wow.
have on, I
Yeah.
mean, it's amazing.
I remember that show. We were sitting here and you guys were going off, and it was like the Nico, Jason, you guys, and then you guys started going in down the rabbit hole, and me and Fiorello were sitting here like silent for like 15 minutes. I'm like, what the fuck are they talking about? I went back and started looking up shit. I'm like, oh my God, my mind's about to explode. And then, you know, Poikinen does his nice thing. Pasta, why don't you talk about elections, since you guys haven't said shit for about 15 minutes, and we go out into it.
There he goes with that voice again.
I know, I'm too Crow. I got to remove less David
Nah,
Crow.
it's not
more
bad. It's
Poikinen.
not bad. It's not bad.
You know, okay, so I'll bring it back to this. If the reason that you're doing the voice is because of the one-liners that you appreciate, then I can like work with you after class on your ability to craft one-liners. We can have a give and take course kind of thing. But I can't make you my particular kind of funny. I don't think. I can set you up with a mushroom connection in LA.
I'll take that.
And you
I'll
can
take
get
the mushroom
back to me in like 20 years.
Yeah. But I don't know if you know how you sound, Steve, because you're speaking inside your own head, rattling over there. And I'm listening to
told you I don't want to
so.
treat you like a tree climbing fish. I don't. That is the last thing I want to do.
Got it.
Treat you like a tree climbing fish.
I don't want to be the tree climbing fish.
I don't.
All right. You're
No.
fam.
Yeah. I did notice that people started upping their game because of Steve. Because didn't you start bringing Whitney Webb on, and then that's when everybody else started having.
I can't take any credit for starting that, but what I did is I immediately became like her favorite person to be interviewed by.
Yeah,
and I hope that never changes, but it changed the way that people interviewed her. Certainly, I don't like, and it seems like that sort of it's applying to other interview guests now. But I think that independent media thought for the longest time that you had to mimic mainstream media, where you had to have a specific set of questions, and you had to be like very you know, maybe a follow-up, maybe, but
gotta have your legs crossed, everything all professional.
Move on. And it's not how I approach any of this shit. But I look, Action for Assange and the people in that community put a ton of pressure on independent content creators to step up and do the right thing and cover Julian Assange. And we got content out of people that hadn't done shit, and they were embarrassed. They were embarrassed by all of it, and they should have been. And the level of coverage they've done since they don't have people constantly putting pressure on them is nothing. They've done nothing, absolutely nothing. And again, I mean, it's the biggest press freedom trial in our lifetime, certainly. Why wouldn't that be interesting to you as someone in the media?
Because if you talk about it, you get put up in a collage on Twitter by people who don't like people that talk about Assange and call out AOC.
Hey, I was not in that. I was not in that collage. I don't know what it is, but I'm not going to be the friendly white guy anymore if this is the way it's going to be.
It's okay. Missy wasn't on there either.
Well, I'm starting to go after people. No more with the Mr. Nice Guy shit. I try to play it the nice guy way.
You did.
And I already went after that girl. It was Andrea. I already went after Andrea today. And listen, their language and what they're talking about. this bourgeois left is disgusting. I am done.
They're not even
These
left.
are the most dangerous people out there because they allowed it. They gave not only
they allowed it. They cheered it.
They cheered on the censorship.
Demanded
and
it.
look where we're at.
Well, yeah, like look what AOC is saying right now. She's framing this whole thing into now it went from the trauma at the Capitol to it reminded me of my sexual assault trauma, which I'm not going to question. Like I said many times, even though people are saying, "Oh, you're being evil." No, I'm not questioning that aspect. I'm questioning her motives for manipulating the conversation and politicizing something that has nothing to do with what happened at the Capitol to weaponize it and use it as a mechanism to get people to point the finger at Republicans, not because I like Republicans, but because of the fact that she is actually she is distracting from what many people are feeling right now, which is complete and total desperation, and using it for her own brand. It's a whole rebranding narrative. And now she goes on to and this is why it took me forever and all these people came to my support, and now all of a sudden let's talk about why these people were radicalized. Oh yeah, they were radicalized by misinformation, and there she goes with the fucking misinformation as all these channels are getting shut down left and right. The channels that put her on the map, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
By the way, put her on the friggin' map.
The people who raised funds for her. I mean, Pasta was in New York while I was at a Bernie event here, organizing a Bernie event. He was in New York at her office talking to her. We raised money for her. Pasta was the MC at a specific breakfast that was designated for Californians to raise money for AOC.
No.
I mean, we were there. I mean, and that shit was a shit show to deal with. All the fucking personalities we had to fucking deal with. Don't even remind me. I have never even spoken publicly about that, but that was a shit show. And it's just like, it's not like we hated AOC and this happened. No, it's like we expected more of her, and this is just unacceptable. I'm 100. I have been, but I absolutely think now that she is one of the most dangerous Congress people we have.
Yeah.
Not because she's a right wing nut or because she is the most establishment politician, neoliberal, but because she is being used as a tool to bring progressives in and trick the left into going back into the Democratic Party. And that can be far more dangerous in the long run. It can be far more of an Obama type of figure than anything we've seen.
Yeah. And Steve and Franco, listen to this too. When we had this breakfast for her, she was coming out here. We were raising monies. It was the AOC tour getting started. She was going to speak in LA. She was going to do a few things, but she decided to come to an activist breakfast with all the activists in LA that we can get together in one big room, 40, 50 people, right? And all these activists. And she was taking notes and she was asking questions and she was just so engaged and whatnot. I think about that time when she was like all listening to us and we were explaining like the problems and issues we have. Wow, is she a fugazi? What an actress she was. She was even complimenting the way the LA activist, she goes, we couldn't do this in New York because the egos are too big, but you people in LA, you're great. You're leading the world when it comes to activism and your
in my mind, I was like, you have no idea, AOC.
I know, we were like sitting there like, you don't even know what it was like to get these people in one room. But God, the taking of the notes and acting like she really cared and she was interested, it was like, wow. She was.
Do you think she was authentic there, or do you think that like if she was like actually being genuine, or do you think that something changed her? She had a talking to, maybe she was being blackmailed. What do you think happened to her?
I think AOC has been groomed for this position
since
she was Kennedy's intern back when she was in grad school.
Yeah,
she did an intern. Yeah,
that's what I think.
She didn't go to grad school.
Oh, that's right. College. My bad.
Yeah.
My bad. But yeah, no, when she interned out of Kennedy's office, I think that's when they were like, oh. And at this point, you would have to work to convince me that her job as a bartender wasn't whoever was like handling her career going, okay, look, Alex, you got to go fucking suck it up, but it'll only be for a year. Sling some fucking drinks. You'll be able to capitalize off of this for the rest of your goddamn life. We have a plan for you.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not that I don't believe you, Steve. I can't believe the level of like ridiculousness that would be like, because I've been a bartender. So it's like, what, like you would have to put on a fucking act, like, and because you're dealing with like people who are like just you deal with all kinds of people. Like you deal with the worst of humanity, the best of humanity, and everything in between.
I've been a bartender.
Yeah.
I've been on both sides.
Yeah, but then to actually do that and like be manipulated that way, I mean, that takes a level of fucking psychopathy that, I mean, I guess we should start getting comfortable with. But I mean, I don't know about that. I just know like that, you know, when I met AOC, it was at an event in New York, in Brooklyn, when that was even before that moment. That was back in 2017 when she was just running, and it was a Bernie event put off by Bernie supporters, and she came in there and spoke, and it was an organizer. She said a little bit for Bernie. Later we find out that she wasn't even that big of an organizer for Bernie. She was just like a volunteer. And you know, she said all the right things in that moment, but I was a little apprehensive of some of the DSA, but I knew the DSA in New York was slightly better than the one in LA, and I knew that the DSA New York was working with the Green Party, so that I was kind of like, well, at least they're working with the Green Party, because here the DSA doesn't really coordinate with the Green Party. So I was like, okay, well, let's listen to her talking. I mean, she came to the bar and she was, you know, still waitressing supposedly back then. And
the thing that makes me really think, Franco, to answer your question too, as well, is I think about Bernie Sanders, right? So we think at sometimes maybe at the convention, before the convention, that he got threatened, like enough is enough. If you don't get in line, it's over for you, whatever, because he changed, right? And he changed in front of our face. But I start thinking about AOC's election. And more importantly, I start thinking about who she beat. Mm-hmm. And I start thinking, like, wait a second. They're not going to let the second most standing Democrat in the House just be taken out like that unless there's something to it. So I don't know if she was talked to and she was changed or whatnot, but I go back to her election and it starts making me think and stuff, because once again, I don't know what to believe. I listen to everything, but I don't know what to believe at times, how deep down the rabbit hole of control and actually placing people in certain positions we're at and stuff. But I leave nothing off the table, and I think anything's possible, whatnot, because it does seem like a lot of theatrics right now. And the way she's just sheep herding people to where she's at, it's scary. And I don't think she would have been put there unless she was groomed to be put there.
Have you guys thought about how we can't find anything about her past? Like, I was gonna say, like, have you guys thought about how we can't find anything about her past, like on social media? Like, her Facebook doesn't, like, you can't look anything up about her on Facebook that's like, that goes like deep into her past. Like, you don't know anything about like her like relationships or anything like that. And then that one video of her dancing, do you guys remember that? That kind of came out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Where did that come from?
Yeah, somebody released it or something. Yeah. I'm very suspect of people who are propped up, obviously, by the mainstream media. And I'm talking about Vanity Fair, Vogue, CNN, MSNBC, all these mainstream channels, right? They prop her up constantly. And when that started happening, I was like, wait a minute, like, this is weird. Why are they propping her up? And Bernie Sanders, even if you put Bernie Sanders next to her, they never propped him up. They always painted him as a kooky senator, crazy, commie, socialist Bernie. He's just old and grumpy. Like, they always painted him that way. With AOC, they propped her up pretty much from the start. Even when they were criticizing her, they would give her a lot of airtime. And to me, that was a red flag. Because when you challenge the status quo, when you challenge the mainstream media propaganda machine, when you challenge the national security state, when you challenge the military industrial complex, you're never going to be propped up. She didn't challenge the national security state. She didn't really challenge the military industrial complex. So I guess there's that. But at the same time, even Sanders, who challenged Wall Street multiple times, he was never propped up. So as soon as she was propped up, it's like, wait a minute, like, that they wouldn't give this much airtime and all this coordinated media attention to somebody that would actually threaten their livelihood. So
her first stunt in office was to have that sit-in at Pelosi's house with Sunrise Movement.
Yeah.
You've read your colleagues reporting on Sunrise Movement, right?
Yeah. You're talking about Robledo.
Yeah, Robbie.
Exposing the money.
Yeah.
Too. Mm-hmm. You want to hear something else funny too, Steve and Franco too as well? So I was there 6 weeks out before the election, right? I went and talked to AOC. I went and covered her what her campaign headquarters were doing, the way they were organized. I thought it was great. Had a lot of young organizers in the room, and I met a couple people, but one person in particular on election night, Lauren Steiner goes wandering in there into her campaign headquarters with her little live stream, right? I know, right? And I don't even think she realized what she was walking into, but the same person I saw that was running that organization for that day, who was talking to everybody, they brought pizzas for everybody. They were taking the Spanish-speaking people, putting them on one side, the English-speaking people who spoke Hindu, and they were separating them and getting ready to organize. And I thought it was just a great, like, wow, this is awesome. You know, they're getting out there, they're organized, they're going to do it. But this person was very, very pissed off. She was very, very aggravated. She was speaking her mind. And a week before that election, here come the DNC lawyers. They come in and they start taking over everything. Yeah. This is like a week before the election. And they start pushing out the grass people part of her campaign out. And this particular person, and if you go back and you look at that, just Lauren Steiner's, AOC's campaign night, that girl was running stuff inside her campaign. I reached out to her to speak to her, but they had that New York kind of street justice, no snitching kind of mentality. She would not speak to me. I lost track of her, but something was going on. Something had changed. I'm not trying to get conspiracy theory over here, but you could just see this woman was pissed, and she was pissed because the grassroots people were being pushed out, and here comes the DNC lawyers and all the DNC people coming in like a bunch of vultures.
And you can watch actually that live stream where they were Lauren caught sight of it. She didn't even know what she was doing.
Yeah.
But she caught sight of these people protesting AOC as like she was winning. They were pissed. Like it was like they pretty much came out that it was like people were being pushed out and the people who were being credited didn't get the credit they deserved. To us then it sounded like some progressive internal leftist drama like we were used to seeing all the time in our circle. So we didn't really know what to make of it because it was like we were still like dumbfounded that she won like against the largest, most like nefarious Democrats in New York. So we were still kind of taken aback by that. But that was definitely another red flag.
Yeah. It was an Occupy Wall Street dude who was speaking there. He had the people's mic. And like I said, you can see it. I'm going to go look for it and see if we can copy it, maybe paste it, get it up. I don't know where Lauren Steiner's at, if you could put it back out, Lauren. But it really tells the tale.
Lauren is not watching this show.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure Lauren's not watching this.
I don't know, but maybe somebody would tell her, pasta. You know what she'll say to me and stuff. But maybe we can go find it. Maybe if somebody can get in touch with Lauren Steiner, say, Lauren, re-put out your video from AOC's campaign headquarters on that night. Her. You know what I'm saying? It's really like, and I'm telling you now, that person, the girl who was upset, and you'll see she is angry. Her arms are folded. She is mad. She was running shit in the campaign. Like I saw her run a whole organizing meeting, and she was amazing. You know, and AOC was like, go ahead. Her and all her friends got pushed out. They didn't send. What happened was they didn't give people even a few bucks to get in from the inner city parts that worked on her campaign. You know, and it's just telling it to me. It was like something's going on. Yeah. Something's going on.
The other night, my kid goes, Dad, do you have an interview that you wish you hadn't done? You're like, what was your worst interview? And I was like, oh, Lauren Steiner. Oh. And he was like, that was quick. You know, I'm like, yo, dude,
I didn't know you did that. That's crazy.
One bad, you know, there were a couple where I've been like, oh God, Josh, don't ever let me do that again. You know, but
you know, listen, as big of a pain in the ass as you can be, she shows up with her camera. You know what I'm saying? She was doing that before anybody else.
Someone with their own plane usually can.
What's that?
Someone with their own plane usually can.
Don't judge me by my privilege. Judge me by what I do with my privilege.
I'm just saying, if you had a plane, if there was a Convo plane,
the Convo
we'd be at the Convo pool, drinking Convo margaritas, eating Convo beans.
I don't stand by the Convo plane. I'm so sorry.
I do. I'm looking at
unless it's a green ass plane.
Green ass planes with green bombs.
I'll do a Convo ship.
Convo ship.
Yeah.
Ooh, Convo pirate yacht.
Yeah, pirate yacht.
Since we're going into the conspiratorial realm, I don't know if you guys have heard of The Boys, like the superhero show that's on Amazon. Have you guys heard of it?
I've heard of it.
I haven't.
So in this world, it's there's superheroes that are created because of corporations that made like a serum, and there's some scenes that allude to Operation Paperclip, where they get scientists from like Nazi Germany.
The Nazi draft.
Huh?
The Nazi draft.
Yeah. And then there is a congresswoman that's supposed to be fighting against these corporations, who is very obviously supposed to be AOC. Her name's like Congresswoman Newman from like New York, who took down a more famous congressman. And there's like a video that leaked of her dancing around. It's very obviously AOC.
That's great.
And then we find out in the end that she's controlled opposition and that she's working with those corporations.
That's right.
So there's
right.
sometimes that Hollywood takes ideas from things that happen in real life.
Or vice versa.
Yeah.
Or real life is influenced by the things that, you know, Hollywood wants too. It's both. I think it's an incestuous relationship. We know that this is what they do. That's why we walked away from that industry in particular, like especially after seeing all the things that we see. You know all these things that in living here in LA, we're still here. It's just a completely different world you enter when you live in that world. It's like just the scum of humanity, and in the most luxurious way it's presented, but it is really like just really sad, vapid people all trying to get noticed. And it's scary, but that is the brainwashing of America. I mean, so many people look, not just here but abroad, look to the American dream, America, the land of the free, the home of the brave. And like, I know that as an immigrant, that is what immigrants look at, and they still believe, you know, that you should have that in the back of your head. I mean, at least my dad's always like, well, America, you know, did this and this and this for me. But it's like, you also have to look at the generational divide from a boomer saying that, which my father is, to a millennial and what we've endured, and the Gen Z. Like, it's not the same thing anymore. You can't achieve the things that we were told we would achieve in school. It's just a complete fabrication.
No house with the white fence or nothing. You can't get a Convo house. I'm seeing all these things on your chat too, as well. They're just going into it. We got Convo Dimension, Convo Covenant, Convo Coup, Convo Counterculture, Convo Mike, right?
You're hanging out with your Convo friends.
Yeah, you guys are our fams, our Convo fams.
Our fams, yeah. So I can't tell you how many people used to complain about, like, they'd be like, Pasta, can you stop saying that? Fiorella, can you tell Pasta to stop saying it? If he says it one more time, I'm just gonna unsubscribe and stop watching the show. They would like say that all the time, and I'm like, I told him to stop. I think a couple times I said, okay, you can only say it like 10 times a show or something.
That was Ron Pacone. He kept it down. And he gave me 5 of them, and after 5 he hit the buzzer, so I said it like 6 more times. By the way, no.
Yeah. But then people
Island.
like it. Then people like ended up loving it because it's like, I don't like the word fans. Like fans, it's just very much like, you know, like I worship you. Like, so I just like the extension of the fam. It came out because I was making fun of him for being a boomer.
She wants to start an OnlyFams. That's what she wants to start.
I do.
OnlyFams.
So a video segment at Rockfin where it's
Steve.
Only the fams, and they come in. Like, we get moderators on.
Look at Steve.
There's no naked pictures of anybody. It's just only fams. Only the fams come on.
Fams.
So we'll have like Mona on. We'll have Ali on. We'll have like, you know, Redneck Economics on. We'll have all these
Chili
people.
Love. Convo Community.
All these people come on, and then it'll be like an OnlyFams stream.
Oh,
Convo Famisphere.
You mean you're basically going to have like a moderator chat?
Yeah, but we're calling it OnlyFams. Get with it.
Huh.
Oh, Steve, I saw you laughing hysterically.
Look,
I saw you. I mean, Steve had that like older. Yeah.
Wait, so going back to what you guys said earlier, Jordan was propping up Pogs for Bernie, like the Andrea girl.
Yeah. It's in that group DM.
Yeah, he was propping her up.
Through it before I got on. I was doing a lot of stuff.
No, I mean, like, if you go there, that's where you can. There's probably like 111 billion messages since then, but you could probably just look at Jordan saying, I would pull it up on the screen share, but she blocked me, and I don't.
She
Doesn't
won't
block
block
you.
me. She follows me and then says talk shit, and I don't block her. So I like it's just weird. This woman is weird. She'll make straight up videos about like all of us, and then she'll like get put on Nomiki Constant's show when she has like, you know, she's a very small channel. I'm not minimizing small channels, but you know, Miki Constance brought her up a bunch of times, and it's like interesting. Or Miki Constance never reached out to us.
Weird. Isn't it weird? Like this is like, because that person has a history of saying like wildly racist and inflammatory shit, just so people will look at her.
Yeah.
Like,
if I ever said something like that, I wouldn't even have a platform to speak. I couldn't even go on Rumble if I said shit like that.
Couldn't even go on Parlor.
Yeah, I couldn't go on anywhere if I said something half as bad as that, as she said. You know what I'm saying? Pogs for Bernie. I'm done with these sellouts, these bourgeois lefts. They put these AOCs on their pedestals.
That supports Bernie, so it's okay.
Look, if you Pasta were to do what Jordan Sheridan did, which is platform this individual, you would be 100% responsible for everything that she has ever said and done. Not only that, but everyone you have associated with would be. And for as much as they love to connect you to Jimmy Dore in terms of the left that says horrible things and makes us cry because they want people to get along without focusing on their political differences for 10 minutes. You know, that, so by extension, Jimmy Dore would be platforming everything that that woman has ever said and done. Without a doubt. There'd be a brand new graphic. Jeff Campbell and like all of his alts.
Geoff Campbell.
Geoff
is Brooklyn for jerk off.
I just want to say real quick, like the level of like crazy, like doxy and conspiratorial shit these people do every day. They spend hours. They must spend hours on the internet, finding your picture, Steve, Franco's, mine, Pasta's. Even they included you in one of the last ones.
In the video today, they said, yeah.
And they just put these montages of look at all these horrible people on Greenwald, Gray Zone, and I'm like, oh, this is a great follower list. Good job.
It's everybody I love on the internet. It's like, oh, these are all the people I love on the internet. Yeah.
Dumbasses.
Yeah,
it mentioned me today. It's always like Michael Tracy, and it's like, everyone needs a fucking shit heel.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of Tracy, Khan, or Tim Pool, but it's just hilarious to me. Like
Tim Pool called me the conspiratorial left.
America.
Oh.
Yeah.
Tim Pool called you that? It was like the totality of the conspiratorial left.
Who said that?
Tim Pool said that.
No, he did not.
Yes, he did.
You are
Tim Pool,
Steve.
Well, you are. Yeah. You were on the advisory committee when Jason Burma started QAnon. So we know that about you. You know what I'm saying? So no, Tim Pool really said that about you.
Committee. So yeah, what happened was in 2018, early on in 2018, Burmas called me. And he said, hey, I know that I have technically not met you yet. However,
technically,
I need you to help me orchestrate a psychological operation that will deactivate the right wing that would otherwise be in the streets and going nuts over the shit that's about to be unleashed on this country. And I, without asking what shit, said, yeah, fuck it. Sounds fun. Let's do that. What are we gonna call it? And he goes, get this. Do you remember Star Trek? And I of course say which one. And he goes, well, the one when we were kids. The what's the bald guy? Picard. That guy. That one.
Well,
there was a character in there named Q. So that's what we're gonna call it. We're gonna call it Q. Because that historically has also been the gadget guy in the like this, in the Bond movies, right? And Did you see that ridiculous thing that like mathematically showed that Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez was Q? Did you
Yeah.
see that
Oh
shit?
yeah.
That's fucking wonderful.
I didn't
It
see
is. I saw because there was a theory that the Charlton Heston what had Q clearance. He used to work where he had nuclear codes. Charlton Heston did before being an actor. So I found out because I must, the Q adjacent channel, right? So I found out that in 1980, Charlton Heston starred in a movie called The Awakening. So Charlton Heston left a series of coded messages in The Awakening that Oliver North would be able to decode when he took over the NRA. Heston foresaw all of this, of course, and Oliver North threw Michael Flynn down to Roger Stone's assistant's coke dealer. Made Q possible. That's how that happened.
The fuck?
Damn.
Where the hell did this shit? So let me get this straight. Q was named after Jean-Luc Picard?
No, there's an entity in that particular series of Star Trek called Q, and he's like sort of a god, but more of like a lonely trickster. Which I suppose like gods in general become throughout. Like it doesn't really pick a mythology. There's a bored trickster god in it. You get a long enough timeline, eternity, you'd be like, yeah, I wonder what would happen if I gave like 8 of them tails.
Story time with Steve, and that was story time with Steve, brought to you
was
by
Story
Slow
Team
News Day.
with Steve.
Da-da-da-da-da.
Dog, we got to get out of here.
Okay,
Okay.
do you want to talk about that whole like rock? Were you calling it a rock block, or do you want to?
Oh, the rock block. I was just spitballing ideas. I'm saying, like,
okay, then we'll do that later.
Right? I mean, we
Because
can
that
talk about.
sounds
I mean,
like-
it was just something I said that we need to start something like a rock block, right? Like where you get all the doorknobs together that are on Rockfin or whatever you call it, whatever they're calling us right now, and have a rock block where it's one channel where it has our stuff running, consistently in a schedule and stuff where people can just go to, okay, everybody in one is at the rock block, whatnot, and they can see other. I mean, I'm just spitballing because now we have to start putting our collective brains together and figuring what we have to do moving forward. I mean, they're trying to pull the plug on us here. I am not a carpenter. I just cook at home, you know what I'm saying? And everything else we did on the outside is pretty much shut down. So, I mean, moving forward, we have to put our heads together. We have to start coming up with ideas and thinking about what we can do to move the ball forward. And, I always talk about Rockfin. I got my hat on because they've been great. Because number one, they haven't censored us. They've paid their content creators with crypto that has been really good in the market right now and provided an opportunity. I mean, I'm just imagining, fam, that if we never signed up for Rockfin over a year and change ago, where we would be right now. We would be, I'd be crying like there's no tomorrow. So
there wouldn't be. but look, that's why we've been telling our audience to go on Rockfin for like endlessly. Annoyingly, Pasta has been doing his whole like Rockfin because it's like it's the point. Like the point is you think it's impossible now, but to like Rockfin has been helping a lot of us. Has been helping. The crypto has been good to us too, and we actually, I love sticking to YouTube and Google in this way. And I think aside from what you're saying, which I think there should be like some sort of coalition of independent media, I think there's also an element to the fact that there should be some sort of on the ground work, organizing, maybe tying it to Julian Assange, maybe tying it to all of these things, because this is directly.
We have something like that we started putting together back in December that hopefully within the next month we'll be able to kind of roll out and not in the next month, but in starting around a month we'll be able to start rolling that out.
Yeah. And
you guys are going to be a part of it, and we're going to have that conversation when Pasta doesn't have to get out the door.
Well, let me just do this real quick for you. I'm going to do my Rockfin commercial. Ladies and gentlemen, over here watching the Slow News Day show here on YouTube, there's 170 of you. There's only 20-something odd of you over on Rockfin, so now's the time. Help independent media out. Help the small guy. Go over to Rockfin, ROKFIN. Sign up for free, but if you can subscribe for $9.99 a month, you not only would you get Slow News Days premium content, but you'll get everybody else's premium content advertisement free. So do it today. Rockfin, where we give you the opportunity to speak your truth.
I think you need AOC's acting classes, fam.
You need to do the little fast voice at the
doing
end.
all of my
where you're
promo. He doesn't have to like. I mean, the whole purpose of announcer voice is just to get people to remember this shit, right? Like, that's perfect for that.
No,
it is.
Yeah.
It is. I'm sorry, Franco. I didn't mean to.
Franco wanted to do the little disclaimer at the end.
Paid for by Slow News Day, Action for Assange. And if you don't believe us right now, you can go eat a bag of Richards. Thank you very much. Wait a minute.
Action for Assange is going back to DC for St. Patrick's Day because last year there was a Clovers for Assange hashtag that was created and was pretty successful. And the tweet storms have been pretty successful. We had so many people in the last since September have been more vocal and aware and on and about this. So we're going to capitalize on that energy and take it into 3 dimensions. And if you can't join us in DC, throw an event in your own city and get with us, and then we'll help you coordinate. But we would like this to be large and absurd. I like my protests like I like my lead guitar players for the Grateful Dead.
Yeah. Well, we got to get Andrew Ziggy about it, right?
And absurd, huh?
Stop it. I saw the Grateful Dead not too long ago too.
I did too.
First time ever. But we got to do what Andrew Ziggy Smith says, right? We got to get together and we got to get other protests where people have the same ideology or along that line. We should also do an Assange one, but a free speech rally too as well. You know what I'm saying? Freedom of speech. Civil liberties. Let's get that together. Let's put these things. Let's get there. There's a wall now in front of the Capitol building, but we can stand outside that wall. And we can make some noise, and we can
climb it like the little scaffold climb.
Don't start with climbing the walls. And I just want to say to everybody out there in the bourgeois left who's been pushing this censorship and cheering it on, you can eat a bag of Richards. You are dangerous.
You are the bourgeois that you talk about, that Marx, that Lenin talk about.
You are the bourgeois.
You are. It's hilarious, and they're like, it's just fucking. I've said everything that I can say about those people. They're awful, but at the same time, we're also fighting for them, as awful as they may be. When we're fighting censorship, when we're fighting the establishment, we're fighting for them. And I just got to say, be careful now that you're going to interview Magnus, because you're going to be platforming fascists and Nazis. But Jordan Cheriton gets to prop up an actual racist, and he's not going to get that much pushback. But by interviewing Magnus, who has, he has
John McAfee on my show.
You had John McAfee on your show?
I interviewed John McAfee. The people have hurled people think he with his bare hands killed people and then had his security goons kill more people.
Yeah.
I'm scared of any of their shit. We've had this conversation, I think, or maybe we have, I don't know. The reason that all of these fucking boutique left, that's a fantastic term for them, or the bourgeois, or whatever, these fucking pussy ass progressive content creators assume that if you talk to someone with a different ideology than you are going to compromise 100% of your beliefs and take up theirs, is because they lack the fucking fortitude.
It's projection.
To carry own beliefs to a conversation with someone who doesn't think like they do.
Yep.
How do
they assume you're that?
Sorry, I was going to say, how do they expect to convert people by calling them Nazis and fascists? And that's going to be like, I should change the way I'm talking and thinking.
They don't. Listen, the thing about the bourgeois left is they only want to talk to the other left. They're trying harder to convince the neoliberal establishment order, those people, because they're on the left.
But they're getting convinced themselves.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And they don't want to convince, and that's the thing. We've all talk about people who have different ideology, different opinions than you. What's it going to hurt? But they're trying to stop that. And all these little sycophants that jump on that little train about, oh my God, you're a fascist and a Nazi for talking to Magnus, they can eat a bag of Richards. I said it before, and I'll say it again. And somebody also said, Chuckle's last laugh. Somebody reach out to Jamal about coming on to Rockfin. We'll do that because he got
be
the platform
on
today.
I might be on fault lines
got
tomorrow.
The platform. He got demonetized today.
Yeah, I might be on fault lines tomorrow, and I can tell him.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Don't curse.
Yeah.
No.
Don't be pasta.
Yeah, I'll tell him we need to debate more. Like, have you guys debate him more or me about election integrity? He still believes it. He's like, I just don't believe it. I don't believe it.
I know.
I have
Deal with-
been, in my opinion, I have been fairly critical of Jamal in the past, but he should get a ton of credit for having on smaller content creators and more people from like the on the ground activism world than then I know he does. I know he does not get credit for that, and he should. He really should.
Yep.
100%.
So depending on whoever talks to him next, because I won't, please tell him that what he is doing with that is commendable, and I wish more people did that. Can you imagine if someone with a show like Tom Hartman's Padawan brought on just one real ass motherfucker for like 3 times over a month period or something like that?
Yeah. No.
3 segments out of however many videos that dude clips out. Like,
no, dude. Look,
can you imagine?
Yeah, listen, that's what you're supposed to do. You know, we spent the last couple of weeks making sure people who have less subscribers than us come on our show because we were lucky enough for people to do the same thing for us. You know what I'm saying? So it's a responsibility right now. It's a responsibility towards the push for free and fair, transparent, news.
Yeah.
And that's what we need to do. The truth tellers need to be elevated. And, that's why it was so great seeing you guys out there in DC. And, he should be doing that, and he's not. And a lot of other people should be doing that. Go down and elevate the people who were once in your shoes a couple years ago that are talking the talk and walking the walk. And it's easy to recognize those people and put them up there. Don't be like no Mickey Cons and put these fugazis on.
Yeah, I mean, you can just tell, like, by who invites people on. We don't get invited on by the boutique left, and we have never been reached out by any of those Jacobin type of people, even though we could probably destroy them in any sort of debate when it comes to electoral politics. At least, definitely foreign policy, because they don't know foreign policy out of their ass. But it's just, I mean, I would love to debate these people, but it's like they don't want. They see you as competition, whereas we see you guys as like comrades, as like actual fam. So it's I don't know. Some people are threatened, I guess. And I don't really see, like when they said, "Oh, I'm not here to make friends." It's like, well, I consider you guys friends. I consider a lot of independent media. We're out here doing the same. We want the same thing, don't we? We want to tell the truth. I thought that's what we all wanted. I guess it's not.
Yeah. Well, Nathan Glazer asked Stephen, "Who's Tom Hartman's Padawan?"
That was more.
Tom Hartman's Padawan was friends with somebody who's doing a show now that went after Marjorie Greene for saying she didn't believe a plane hit the Pentagon. And we warned you when she was repeating CIA talking points about Julian Assange.
Gee, I wonder who that could be.
That's Crystal and Kyle Kulinski.
Can you imagine how terrible that show is?
I'm not gonna watch.
Just how.
Oh my god!
Awful.
I'm pretty sure I had an aneurysm when I saw that was a thing.
I laughed. I did. I was like,
you need to sue them for healthcare.
Oh my god! Sleeping Josh is like
Bernie
those guys in
cheerleading
the Muppets, like the older guys that just make fun of shit. Like they'll come in there.
Yeah, that's
me. It's like Regis and Kathy Lee for people who grew up with Xboxes. Like, it just what the fuck could you possibly take from that show? other than this is a mindless waste of time where people can like you could actually there's proof positive result that you could get more out of jerking your own dick than watching that show.
Woo! Look at the time there. Woo!
Can you imagine if
Whoa.
Steve was just like hacked into like CNN and all of a sudden you hear the pundits talking and Steve comes in, what the fuck is this shit? Like he would I would pay to see that. Like I would absolutely fucking pay to
We
see
are
that.
not allowed to encourage that on this show, particularly given some of the guests that we have on and the people that we frequently
Well,
speak to.
Well, you'll
However,
be
that would
receiving an
fucking
email tomorrow.
stop.
You'll be
Don't
receiving an email
say that.
tomorrow.
We are just joking. Please save this slogan.
Imagine if you were just like a random pedestrian and then like ABC or CNN or MSNBC interviews you on the ground about, I don't know, something random that happened locally and you just drop a bunch of truth bombs
Yeah.
about our foreign policy and everything that we're doing.
And end with Epstein didn't kill himself.
So,
All right.
so I have thought about because we do live in a place where every time there's like weather news cameras, you show up. You know, we just had to evacuate from fires, almost had to evacuate again, all that kind of. So I have thought about trying to sidle up to one, but I'd rather just do it this way.
I'm glad.
Pasta Fee, I love you guys.
Yeah.
I know Pasta's got shit to do.
He's got a date.
Sorry,
Ladies, Pasta's got a
I
date.
wasn't gonna put his business out
Ma'am,
there.
stop
like
talking
that.
about my second date with this person.
Oh shit!
Privacy.
And by the way,
Actually,
as we're leaving, Iron Chief, who says Nina Turner 2024, guys, 111 this time, will vote harder and win. Well, number one, your votes aren't going to count.
I think Nico got hit too. They're saying it in chat.
Breaking news.
Breaking news.
Of course, the
I didn't
MCSC
see-
network.
let me see. Oh, he got it. I just got the.
I was wondering how they hit all of us. Like
Yeah,
tomorrow
they're
Nico
gonna,
House got it.
but not Nico.
they're
But yeah,
gonna
it was
hit,
a matter
I knew
of
they were
time.
gonna hit.
Have you checked
they're
your
gonna
email
hit
lately,
everybody
Steve?
They got him.
I already sent this to I sent our thing to Richard and I said be careful because they're gonna come for all of you.
Hey,
True.
Odyssey will have live
Dick
streaming
to dick.
soon. Odyssey will have live streaming soon, so we'll be streaming on there the second they have it.
But hey, man, let's build Rockfin. This is the right.
Hey,
Here, this is us. We've owned
We
this.
stream to everything at the same time.
Yeah. But I'm saying Rockfin's got a good combination of MMA sporting and independent media. That is a good combination. That's a nuanced intellectual audience. Let's keep rocking it. And Iron Chief, I am not voting for any Democrat whatsoever. So stop with the bullshit with the Democratic Party. I don't care about Nina Turner's her past or anything. If she's going to try to go into the Democratic Party and win or even try to change them, no, it's going to change her. So I'm done with voting for any Democrat whatsoever.
It's okay though because she's on the advisory board for Movement for a People's Party, so she'll be.
I don't think she is anymore. I
Really?
think she left.
Oh,
Yeah, I
sure.
think she's fully just the Democrat. We're still trying to figure out if the same weasels who manipulated and fucked the Bernie campaign here, they're sending emails saying donate to Nina. We're trying to figure out if there's an actual connection there because like people here are like, if she does that, I'm pissed and like because those people are corrupt as hell. They're consultants for the Democratic Party, so we're trying to figure that out now. But
Yeah.
it's for Nina. I just I like Nina. I just think. This is just she's already like talking to AOC, talking to all this squad, the AOC who has not once actually said anything of value to her. Tulsi Gabbard's the only one that maxed out donations for her, and it's to me it's like I agree with Pasta. It's like we know how the Democratic Party is here. You're not going to change it. It's so corrupt and so vile that she in the delegate elections where you're just people running for delegates and they cheat on that all the time because the delegates then get to vote on the platform. So that's how they do it, and they fucking cheat all the
Who
time.
the head of the DNC is? They rig who your city commissioner is. They rig who sits
rig
on your
everything.
board of supervisors.
Yeah, but
You get a
that's just the
copy.
primary, Steve, not in the general. They have a coming to Jesus moment where they grow ethics. They, you know what I'm saying, like they grow a set of, you know what, they grow a set of ethics like this big, right? And all of a sudden they say, no, we're not going to cheat this right now. Like I said, what you're trying to tell me, ladies and gentlemen, is equivalent to going into a bank, knocking it, kicking in the doors, going in, clocking the shotgun, boom, firing it up and go, put all the money in the bag and everybody on the floor. But before they put the money in the bag, you just grab the bags and start running out. Like, we got this. Like, they're going to complete the crime. They're going to finish it off. Maybe Trump was part of their whole kabuki theater. Maybe he slipped by. But don't think for 1 second they ain't going to cheat for power.
Pasta. No way. No way. No way. The whole Q fucking limited hangout thing is one of the contributing factors to evidence why Trump had to happen.
I got a date. I can't stay here for this conversation. We got to go.
One last thing I'm gonna say is
sorry to cut you off.
You can hang out if you want to, Frank. It's just because these guys got split doesn't mean
I was gonna say Nico received his email at the very same exact time that I received my email from YouTube, 2:18 p.m. Is it the same for you guys?
For us, it was 11:15, I think.
Wait, but
11:18.
They're like, we're gonna get these fucks out of the way.
No, it's the same. It's the same time then, because we're in.
Oh yeah,
3 hours behind.
It would be So they got their demonetization orders.
11:18 a.m.
Wow,
same time.
So that means 2 o'clock.
Purge.
Yeah.
Hey, well, at least we know it's a purge. That's too much.
Oh my
of a
god!
coincidence.
If this was a Q channel, we could break down what the numerical significance of 218 is.
Oh my god!
We'll get Jason Bermas on. You know, Jason's been rocking.
Trust the plan.
Even Lionel was like, "I was telling you guys this stupid thing that you're trying to do. It's just stupid." That was my Lionel impression. It's about
it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. I haven't heard the Poikinen, dude. I haven't heard the Poikinen yet.
It's Bernie is the best.
Yes. And we're going to leave tonight and let you know that I am voting for AOC to make sure that New York has the best knishes in Queens with Gouldens mustard. Gouldens or die.
You know that during like Congress's breaks, Bernie is recording like it's my pleasure to endorse Ivanka Trump and Hunter Biden's crack pipe for the Democratic nominee for president and for 2036. Like he's already making those commercials.
Steve, we love you.
Love you too, Pasta.
Aww.
The show is definitely not rehearsed, okay?
No.
It's really
Franco, you're the best too, buddy. Let's talk about PC, St. Patty's Day. Let's get a couple things going. I think that's great. Steve, let's get out there, you know what I'm saying? I'll wear all green, baby, and let's do this.
I want
it's a good time to brainstorm solutions too.
Like go look up who Bread and Puppet was. I want to like pay homage to those guys if we can.
Bread and Puppet.
We love you, brother.
Bread and Puppet.
Oh, Bread and Puppet. Okay.
I can't say I love you anymore. I love you.
Aw.
Okay, Pasta. Stop.
I'm allowed.
Bye, guys.
Thanks, guys. Take care.
Toodles.
Let's go. It's time to leave.
He's like the sweetest, most adorable. Oh shit, he's still here.
You son of a bitch, you. Yeah. Steve Poikinen, you son of a bitch.
I gotta clip that out. It goes on the soundboard.
Hey, okay. Real talk though, like we're probably going to try and figure out how to get Josh's soundboard, not to have like the standard ridiculous dumb shit that you would have on a soundboard, but to have like Whitney Webb going. So that's normal. And apparently Pasta calling me a son of a bitch because I guess I need to be reminded. I don't know. I'm pretty aware.
Get on that soundboard, Sleepy J.
Hey, I know it's nerdy, but it brings me joy.
No, I mean, I don't get me wrong. I'm for the concept of soundboard. I am. I mean, don't. I want to make that perfectly clear. We've got to avoid. Oh Jesus! Well, we've got to avoid any clips of my voice, right? Like, because this isn't the Young Turks, and you know.
Of course.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's sad to see all these channels like that woman Pogs for Bernie and all these other channels that spend the time to make all these collages. They're a product of TYT and Majority Report. Like they're the seeds of that.
I thought that from here on out, that show was to be referred to as the Jimmy Dore Report.
There's a trailer that Matt Orfala did about that. It was like Jimmy's #1 fan. I didn't get to see it yet though. It looks hilarious, but I want to check it out. He does great videos.
Orfala is fantastic. He is. It was good to see him out in DC too.
Yeah, I did not know he was a local from around here.
Yeah.
But it's now we know this is like mass coordinated. If they sent that out at the very same exact time as me, Nico, Convo Couch, Jamal Thomas, that's insane. And now people are typing in their Q theories like 218, 1118. What does it all mean? Now they're gonna they're gonna put that put the Wikipedia page underneath this video now. We brought up Q.
The white, I don't know, dude. Rabbit. No. But Ray Wiley Hubbard has a great song called Rabbit. So you could go listen to that. Get out of your rut and get into your groove. Yeah. Franco, my friend, Jesus Christ, dude. So I am my only prediction usually is that things will continue to get more absurd. I don't normally make them. But where do you think we'll be by St. Patrick's Day when we have this event in DC? In terms of like, because what can YouTube really do? Like, I know that we are an insignificant portion of the overall viewership of YouTube, but overall viewership of YouTube has got to have, at least in the West, declined. You would think.
Yeah,
like, they kicked off like huge names, dude, especially the truth community. Like Del Bigtree is gone. Fucking the flat earth dude is gone. It's like Jones is gone. Fucking
T-Lab and all them are kind of gone. Like T-Lab has his backup channel. I was thinking, like, should I make a backup channel? Like, I want to be on here as long as I can to reach out all these normies. I can't reach normies. I can't reach out for normies at Rockfin or Odyssey.
I don't know, man. I mean, that's what I love about Rockfin, though, because there are people that are there for the MMA. And then maybe they stumble on John Fitch's channel and they see Jason Burmis. And then from Burmis, they learn about, me or about their, like it. That's how that show works. I see.
Go down the rabbit hole.
I know where my viewers are coming from on Rockfin. Thanks, Nico. And fucking Convo Couch and Burmis.
Yeah, huge shout out to Nico. He's the one that started it with Rockfin. I'm gonna be on his show tomorrow. It's gonna be, I guess we know what we're gonna talk about. We're gonna talk about this censorship thing that's going on. It's gonna be on Rockfin Premium. So people, if you haven't yet made your Rockfin account, I don't know what the heck you're waiting for. You just heard this whole entire conversation. Why haven't you made a Rockfin account yet? Make it. Help us out here. We're trying to inform the masses here.
Do that shit. No, but seriously, yes, Nathan Glazer on the Rockfin, share my review of their show of the Crystal Ball and Kyle Kalinske.
Are you gonna sit through that? Are you gonna sit through
confirmation
any
bias.
episodes?
No, just the one where I was like, where earlier on the show where I described exactly what you could get more of out of than watching confirmation bias porn for what, an hour, half hour, 2. I don't know how long could you just sit there and be like, Democrats are bad and progressive things are good, so let's talk about progressive things that people have talked about for 70 years, except we'll repeat it in pleasant tones like it's an epiphany, and then wag our finger at all of the politicians who aren't doing these like, what the fuck, dude?
How long are we going to do that for? Like, I'm sick and tired of people talking about how bad the Democrats are. We get it. Water's wet. Let's move on. Like, it's the same thing with people who still talk about the Republicans being bad. Like, water's wet. Let's move on and actually take action and do something other than sitting in your studio and just ranting about the same shit you always do without going into depth. Right? Kyle Kalinski's been doing this for years, and all he does is sit in the studio. Never goes into depth.
No, I'll reiterate this. The closest Kyle Kalinske has ever been to a protest is fucking hate watching the Convo Couch when they're live streaming from one.
No, I didn't know he hated them. Oh, the Convo Couch, but it wouldn't surprise me.
He's not love watching them. If you know, it's not like,
yeah.
I mean, come on, dude. Seriously, do you think that people who have massive platforms aren't aware that they could be like a show like that, or somebody like Robbie Yeager who does serious financial reporting like every day, who's just out there fucking scooping like the New York Times and shit? You think if these people were serious about anything other than getting a fucking contract for their punditry, that they wouldn't be at least fucking running with Robbie's shit as their top story like every day, or having him on and highlighting him and lifting him up, or doing the same with the Convo, you know, or like even for Action for Assange, you know? There aren't US fucking Assange groups out that are putting people on the ground outside of us and the people that are affiliated with us. You know, but it's there's a specific vision in mind that doesn't involve being like, yeah, it's time for people to get access to a little bit more. It's not like they don't know, they only scratched the surface. It's not like people aren't fully cognizant of what they're not covering.
The closest he ever got was saying that if Bernie was cheated in the primaries, and he would go to Milwaukee and protest, and that he was going to hold a megaphone. That's the closest he got. People were going to protest for Bernie, for their Lord and Savior Bernie Sanders. That's the only thing that would have gotten that faction of the left out to the streets. But it's not all these other events. It's not the Great Reset. It's not Assange. None of that stuff is angering them enough. We're like random citizens to them, like random people. They don't even acknowledge our existence. I've never, like you said, I don't remember a single time that he's mentioned Robbie Yeager's name, despite all the investigative research he does and the finances of these politicians that he should be talking about. He's ranting about the Democrats, so why doesn't he use that evidence to help him with his rants? He doesn't care. He's comfortable. That's what people need to realize.
It may be on my end, but I couldn't understand the word.
Yeah, your internet's fucked, Steve.
It's on my end.
All right, Franco, let us know where they can find you.
You can find me at YouTube at Franc Analysis. You can find me on Twitter at B43Franco. I'm also on Rockfin at rockfin.com/Franc Analysis. And I'm also on Odyssey. So please, the best thing you can do now that I've been demonetized and all these other independent channels like the Convo Couch, Nico House have been demonetized, is to support us on Rockfin. Also, if you want to make donations, please do so on PayPal to help us out, because YouTube won't steal our money if you donate through PayPal. But yeah, Steve and Josh, thank you so much for having me on. I had a great time. And everybody else, don't forget to stay informed.
Cool, man. It's always a pleasure. All right, everybody. I'm gonna kill the stream. Good luck to us all.